there are great energies and forces that are coming into play here on Earth as we know it, and it's beyond fathomable what these energies bring, because it is not only DNA restructuring and formatting and elevating the consciousness into higher dimensions and higher realms, but it is more than that. It is literally changing the way that we interact with each other and the way that we see each other, the way that we comfort, the way that we love, even the way that we hate, as those are part of the human experience and not to be disregarded as bad or evil. They are just simply expressions of the human experience, and all part of not to be rejected as the whole. It is the whole part of the human experience. And so, although these experiences will be lessened, there will be less, it doesn't mean that they are not profound in their own way and transformative for the human experience, as the role that we play in elevating the energies here on Earth. These energies that the humans are responsible for shifting and changing on Earth and with Earth are global, and there isn't a word in the human English language dictionary to explain exactly the realms of Earth and the circumference of Earth. It's called planets and stars and suns, but that's not exactly what it is. It's more of a computer program where it is like a matrix, not like it doesn't have substance like we think it does. We call a rock, and we think, for most people, that it doesn't have consciousness. And the shift that we're experiencing is people understanding that even rocks have consciousness. So, for example, there is a comet shooting through the sky as we speak. It is one of the fastest recorded quote-unquote comets, even though it's not a comet, shooting through our galaxy, hurling at high speeds towards Earth, although it's not expected to hit Earth. But some view this as just gas and light and fragments, zero consciousness. But others know and are tapping into the consciousness of this so-called comet. And even the things that we would call dead, like wood after cutting down a tree and building a house with it, is dead wood. We would think has no conscience. Some of us do believe more so that a live plant has consciousness, but once it's dead, it has zero consciousness, and that is absolutely not true. Every single particle and atom that we understand it to be has consciousness. It's all vibrating. It's all moving. It all has limits and boundaries and borders, and it moves. Everything is in movement with the whole. And this is how we can better understand the game or the matrix or the dream state that we are in. And it is more like a dream than a computer game, but that's an easy way for us to understand it when we think of a simulation. More related to a dream is what we are in. And we are a dream within a dream, within a dream, within a dream. And it goes on and on and on. What we are doing as a species, more so as a consciousness, is dividing our consciousness further and further into a deep state paralysis and going further into the dream. And the goal is to awaken in the dream. And once we have awoken in that dream, we go back into a paralysis, a sleep state, to go into the next dream. And the goal again is to awaken into that one and continue on further and further and further down into a sleep state and discover who and what we are. And this is like digging for gold. It is like looking for new terrain, finding new land, discovering a new creature, a new bug, a new animal, a new solar system, a new planet. It's the discovery of new. And as a consciousness, we are always so excited to discover new realms of sleep paralysis, further deeper into our minds, which are not necessarily our brains. And there's not a language, again, in the English dictionary to explain how consciousness is tethered from one sleep state to the next, because we think it's our brain, which there is the third eye that we are aware of that is connecting us to other realms. But it's more than the brain, because you have a whole body, which another word that's been used is avatar, which carries you in that realm. If you think about when you dream, are you always you when you dream? Have you ever seen yourself in a mirror in a dream? Have you ever looked down at your body in a dream? Have you ever noticed in a dream things are similar but not exactly the same? Have you noticed in a dream you go to sometimes the same places over and over again? Pay close attention to the dreams, because that is our next destination that we are so excited to go to after we have fully awakened into this one. Once we have fully awakened from here, we will go further into the next dream and awaken there. But if you've noticed in a dream, it's a lot of the same people, a lot of the same energies from here to there. Pay close attention to your dreams. They will explain this dream and where you come from in other realms where you are hibernating and you are sleeping, so that you can experience this. And yes, our consciousness can be split and divided, shattered, like some people would say. And it's not a bad thing, it's all part of the experiment. The question is, if we wake up from one of these dreams, what happens next? Well, just like now, when you wake up from your dream, everything's back the way it was. Nothing has changed. And you can go back to sleep and you can wake up over and over and over again and go back to sleep and wake up. And everything is what it is. There's no harm. It just is what it is. If anything, the only harm that is caused is when you do wake up and you realize you were dreaming. If it causes you great anguish and anger, that's momentarily, it's temporary. Even when we die, we're just waking up. We're always just waking up from one place to the next. And falling asleep into the next and the other, and so on and so forth. So just remember that, yes, you are here. And yes, you are there. You are in multiple places at multiple times. And this will help to better explain how time does not exist. For so many of us, we don't understand the concept of time not existing. How is that possible? We can watch a clock and we can mark off a calendar and everything is synced perfectly. But if you understand things under the scope of dream state, you will start to see that time is something that you created. It's quite a miraculous creation, but so is everything that we are in and everything we've created. And we've done it not as a single unit, but as a whole. We've all agreed to the creation of what we are in. And so when we see the mountaintops and the beautiful waters, we all created that together. And although there are some things that we see that we might not like, we had an agreement of some kind with that thing that we think we dislike. And there's a reason for it. There is something to learn about our nature, because that's what we are always doing. That's part of our evolution, is learning about ourselves. What do we do in certain situations when we are not coherent or not given all of the facts or all of the information? We forgot who we are. What do we do when we forgot we are all one and we are all connected? And for example, we see a homeless person on the street, and we forgot that that person is me. We forgot that person is us. We forgot we are all connected. And depending on your state of awareness or where you are in the awakening, how you treat a complete stranger or even your best friend or your significant other is a direct reflection of where you're at in your consciousness and your awakening. How much do you see and know and understand that that person is you?